Hello. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay, let's get this thing started. Okay, I unplugged the webcam and moved it to a different USB port, and it appears to be working again. So, we have a webcam today. Okay, this looks like it was the same one I did the other day. I might have to change the video. We'll know in a minute. Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and swap that out. Hey, what's up, Wiresmith? Hey, what's up, biker? Oh, look at that. Look at that action on the screen. I don't know if it's set up right now, but if if you, and I'm not pushing for it, but give me, if I don't forget, I will do it before the next stream, but I will have it set up so that if somebody donates 69 bits, it will freak out. I'll set up a little thing for 69 bits because you donated like 70 bits, 40 bits, 50 bits. I'll set it up for 69 bits, maybe even 68 bits. I don't know, but in case you don't know, a 68 is just like a 69, except for I owe you one, and for the ladies. And yeah, I was streaming last time, and I couldn't get the webcam working. I'm like, okay, this is just normal shit with the computer stuff that works one day. I log off and log on the next time, and it just doesn't work. I unplugged it and plugged it into another USB port, and hey, it's working. I didn't change a goddamn setting on the thing, but it's working. I don't think I'm gonna watch it tonight, but I guess for those of you who don't know, I think everybody knows it now. Everybody that cares, I think, knows by now. But we lost Betty White. She was, I guess, just a few days away from her 100th birthday. She was born in 21 and she died in 21. If she'd have lasted a couple more days, she'd have made it to 100. And I guess Saturday Night Live is redoing a show she hosted before. Hang on a sec. Oh no, it's good. Okay. And then we lost her. We lost John Madden. And I got to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest football fan. I don't pay that much attention to it. Uh, and now like tennis, I have actually tried to understand how the scoring on tennis works, and I can't. I honestly cannot tell you how that 15-30 love bullshit works. With football, I at least understand the scoring in that, but I really liked Madden because as someone that was not a huge football nerd, I liked how as the rules changed or as these obscure rules were affected, he would sit there and with his telestrator would explain to you what was going on, why it was a good call, bad call, like, or how the call was going. And I think he's the reason why we have the instant replay now. Because when he was doing the telestrator, I was watching a game where he basically said, he goes, "Hey, look, if we can do this in 30 seconds in the booth," he goes, "the professionals should be able to set something up and do instant replays." Because you had a whole host of really shitty fucking calls that were going on back then. And I think that's what got the instant or the I think that's what got the recall or the reviews where they could review the plays. We lost Harry Reid, and I'm not doing this as politics. I'm doing this as a UFO nerd. If you are someone that cares about government disclosure of UFOs, regardless of what it is, you really need to be sad at this guy going, because he's the one that got the funding going, and he had help from both sides of the aisle. But he's the one who got funding going for the ATIP program, and the guy that was running it recently, I think with some of the noise he was making, they just passed, to the best. I think I've got this right, and don't take it with 100. Don't take it. Take it with a grain of salt. Maybe look it up. But Kristen Gillibrand, she's got Hillary Clinton and Pat Moynihan's old Senate seat in New York. She got an amendment to the defense authorization bill, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it passed, and I'm pretty sure Biden signed it into law. They should be opening up a permanent Office of UFO or UAP investigation in the Pentagon. And I think there might be something real in here, because it will set up metrics for how they are going to disclose stuff to the American people. And it also requires them, so like there might be stuff they can't disclose to us, it'll remain classified. Well, it's spelled out in law, and I think with penalties that they have to start disclosing that to at least the leadership in the Senate, in the House, in the Congress, like the Gang of Eight, as well as the oversight committees. And as soon as she announced it, and she had support from the other side of the aisle, as soon as she announced it, the Pentagon just suddenly, within a week, it might have been two, but I think it was within a week. I think it was actually within a couple days. As soon as she announced that she was putting forth that amendment, the Pentagon came forward and said, "Oh, we're gonna start a new UFO program, and we'll do disclosure and all that." They did not want the laws being changed so that they would have to. And the only thing I'm going to add to that, and then I'm going to drop it, and I'm hoping this will make a nice little TikTok for me to throw up on as soon as I get around to editing this. And I got like 3 or 4 days. I got to edit right now. Lou Elizondo, the retired former colonel that was in charge of ATIP until recently, and just to give you the backstory on this guy, he was trying to bring in military witnesses military data on UFOs. I mean, like radar data, fighter, gunfighter, gun camera footage from fighter planes. You know, advanced stuff from the aircraft here. He's trying to bring data in for General Mattis, who was the Secretary of Defense at the time. And he said in an interview, I think he was on 60 Minutes, and he said, yeah, he goes, I ended up quitting because people were blocking me. They were not letting me get that information to him. And he said, I finally said, screw it. I'm like, if I resign from this post, there is no way they can keep that from him. And because he was bringing these people in, he wanted to brief the Secretary of Defense so he knew what was going on. And there was always some fucking obstacle thrown in the way. And if you, it's an old movie. I'm not sure. HBO made it. I'm not sure where you would be able to watch it, but it's called Pentagon Wars. And it is actually based on the true story of the Bradley fighting vehicle. And at a certain point, they put a Air Force colonel as like an oversight role, independent observer. And see, he did not answer to anyone in the Army, so they couldn't really do anything to him. They couldn't, you know, they were limited on what they could do to him. Or if it was somebody in the Army, all you would have to do is find somebody higher up to say, fuck you, sit down, shut up, and get out of the way. But since he was Air Force, they had to go through the Air Force to do that. And every time he was trying to do something to get to the bottom of it, there was like a last minute thing. And one of the best things in the movie was he had gotten wind that there was some kind of a British study that said if you were using aluminum armor like they currently had configured on that thing and you hit it with a projectile, it would emit a poisonous gas that would kill everybody in the vehicle. And he was trying to get to the bottom of that. And what he ended up doing is he was going to put some sheep in the vehicle, hit it with a grenade launcher, and see if the sheep survived or not. And the next thing he knows, as soon as they got wind that he was doing it, the next thing he knows, he's coming into work. This is the first ocean monument I found over here, and there is a second one under the ice. I'm just going to keep pointing that out every time I go by these. There's only two of them that I know of on this map, but he comes into work and there's this new office. It was literally not there the day before. He comes into work the next day and there's this fully staffed office next to his. And there was like 20 or 30 people in there. And he's like, he walks in, he goes, what's this? And I think it was the Office of Ruminant Procurement. And he's like, ruminant? And they go, yeah, like sheep, you know, and they had the fancy, and then because what they were going to do, they're just going to paperwork fuck, they were going to fuck them with red tape, is what it amounted to, and they literally were going to just drag it out. Well, we need sheep specs. We have to figure out what kind of sheep do you want. You want male sheep, female sheep, shorn, unshorn, horn, no horn, long horn, and he's just like, why can't we just buy some fucking sheep? And it was just all to basically delay him. Well, when I was listening to Lou Elizondo talk about all the shit they were throwing in front of him, so he could not report to the Secretary of Defense, his boss, it just reminded me of that scene in the movie. And but yeah, so that he was the guy that has helped, I think, get this exposed a little bit. And he had help from some other people. There's a guy that used to work for the CIA that helped him. And I don't know what that's going to do, but that's coming. Hey, thanks, Biker. And, oh, what the hell? Okay, it does. I don't think this was working the other day because when you were cheering the other day, I did not notice anything. I literally did not notice anything. And I thought I had some of this stuff set up. But, oh my God, though. So, yeah, that is coming. And then let me see if there's a. Oh, the other thing I liked is somebody put this up the other day. There were different people on Twitter throwing up Betty White's commercials she did a number of years ago, like the Snickers commercials and stuff. And but yeah, so that, I'm not kidding you. We've lost a lot of good people recently. I don't know. I And then, the other thing on the UFO thing, that's how I got onto it here. The I've been watching some of the stuff on the History Channel, and I kid you not, I literally kid you not. Okay, good. I was thinking that better do something there. Uh, the History Channel, I was watching. They had like an Ancient Aliens marathon, and they're going nuts. They're absolutely going nuts. They're just like, oh, disclosure's coming, you know, and they're just. It was on the commercials in between the shows, and my brother called the other day. He and I didn't know if he'd been watching, but I go, hey, just so you know, we got some senators that got some shit put into the authorization bill. I go, as far as I know, it's been passed, it's been signed, it is now a law. I go, I don't know what's going to happen, but I told him, I go, History Channel's losing their mind. They're just like, oh, this guy. And I told him, I go, now the UFO Twitter, which I follow, I go, the not everybody, but I go, these are the two largest camps that I can see in UFO Twitter. Is you've got the ones that are pissed off that we haven't gotten full discovery now. You know, like they want them basically to frog march the aliens out of Area 51 and introduce us. And you know they probably want to be there. They want aliens on the stamp so they can lick their ass. You know this whole thing. And I go then the other, and I go I think this is the far larger group. They think we're going to get everything. They're patiently waiting, but they think we're going to get everything. And I go God, you know God bless them. I hope that happens, but I think they're going to be severely disappointed. I do think we are going to get some disclosure, but I'm not sure they're going to get everything they think they're going to, and they are not going to take that disappointment very well. But he'd been watching it over in the nursing home he's in or treatment facility he's in. And then the other thing that I put a thing up on Twitter where I'm like, hey, you know, pray for my brother. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just a fucking idiot. Well, this could actually go for either one of my brothers. But my other brother, he has been a COVID denier. He's one of these. I will say, I got to give him credit. At least it sounded like they had their vaccines. But this is a guy that, you know, made a big deal like last year when they first started mandating masks and stuff. He went into Menards and he was told he had to wear a mask. And so he just turned around and went to a different store. And then he bragged about how fucking dumb he was on the internet. Well, his wife and I believe his stepdaughter now have COVID. And at least they're vaccinated, so they're not complete fucking morons. But apparently they had to go out and party on New Year's, and now both of them. Apparently he doesn't have it yet, but because of his nonstop smoking over the years, he has emphysema, which puts him at risk. And it's like, I mean, I wish people could get fucking. Oh yeah, oh no, I still got my map. I wish people could get wise on this shit before they have to suffer some pain. But yeah, so he's got that now, or his family does. And I don't know. I At least my brother over in the nursing home, if he gets COVID because he's over there, if he's telling us the truth, it sounds like he's doing everything he can to avoid it. Like he's over there and they're trying to get him involved in some of the activities and stuff. And he's just like, fuck that. I'm staying in my room. I'm staying in my room. I'll do my exercises in my room if they want me to. But he does not. When I'm like, you know what? That's probably one of the smartest things he's done. I guess it's a good thing they got him off the pain pills because his brain seems to be working again. But it's like, what the fuck? Uh, so that's my update on life. Uh, I honestly can't remember what I did. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna. It's either this recording or the next. I don't know if I've already died once. This is why I wish they had like a death counter on here. Hey, biker, that's something you guys, if you got some swing with BC, get him to turn that death counter on if you can. And I think there's an add-on you can add on. It would be nice if this thing would just keep a little track record up there of all the times you die. Because I have put up some monster numbers on the board. I'm pretty sure I'm into double digits at this point. Uh, Yeah, I got to check them again. I got the dates screwed up because I did the one last time and I said it was day 3. Well, he doesn't have to. I'm just saying, like, if I'm gonna die this much, it would be nice to have it for content on the stream to let everybody know how many times I fucking just screwed up and died. I've gone through the pain of losing maps and some other minor shit. It'd be nice to have the little derp counter up on the screen, so I can't really deny it. I don't know what it is, but they use it on 2B2T, and and the thing is, it might not work with the newer versions of Minecraft. But every time you die, you get like a funny message, like so and so died in lava for some strange reason. Somebody died of dehydration. I mean, it's just they've got some goofy message every time you die on there. Uh, the one thing I do, and I think you can do this on Bedrock as long as you're on the PC. But I have to admit, I like being able to download textures and just like free ones and just insert them into the game. And I like to be able to download the skins and put them on the game. So like I could look up some that are Midwest related that I can just like I've got like the a university skin on right now, and then I think the one I'm currently rocking like as of like today. I put it on, but it was the one that was on when I was playing today. It's Bucky Badger, and I've got that skin going, which is kind of nice. Oh, I honestly can't tell for sure. I'm actually having a pretty good day, but I can't remember. I got too much shit going on right now. I've got those, and then when I woke up today, I thought today was Sunday, so I woke up early. I've been going to bed earlier, so I've been waking up early. I got up and I actually started playing on my Sunday realm because I thought it was Sunday, and then when I was getting ready to come down and fix lunch for everybody, I'm looking, and I'm like, wait a minute, it says it's Saturday, and I'm like, son of a bitch. So I could have I'll get a little bit more done on that this week, but I could have got more grinding done on the server. And then before the stream, and I was almost late because of it, I was basically grinding out at the XP farm. It's not working too bad. I can definitely improve it later. In fact, I'm in the middle of an upgrade right now. I was doing that right before I logged off to get the stream going. So I definitely have some better content coming. And then like I was grinding, I finally went and rounded up. I basically took a boat over. I can't remember what happened. I think one of those wandering traders committed suicide at my base here. They I heard this plop as something hit the ground because I was down there mining in the caves. I'm getting ready to put some like some sugarcane farms and some bamboo farms and some other stuff down below here where I'm standing right now on the screen. And something plopped. And I looked over and there were two of those llamas there still alive. The wandering trader was dead, and there were two leashes laying on the ground. So I'm like, oh, I got two leashes now. And I didn't realize that on Bedrock, if you kill the llamas, you get the leash. Apparently, on this, you have to kill the trader to get the leash. And so when I had those two leashes, I took a boat over, lassoed a couple milk carriers, and dragged them over here, and I started breeding them. Well, Riker got on today, and he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm grinding before my stream tonight. I go, "I need to get some leather." I go, "I got to start making bookshelves," and they raided. He was telling me that at the end portal they had like two libraries over there, and he's got like stacks of fucking bookshelves. So he came over and dropped some off, and I gave him some copper blocks for it. I don't have a whole lot right now, but I know he's done stuff with that before. And the way things are, I'll get some more later. Where I'm at here, it seems to be pretty copper rich, and so I'll get some more later. It ain't a big deal. And then so I got an enchantment table, fully charged up now with books. And the first thing I did is I got a Unbreaking 3 for my diamond pickaxe. And I told him, I go, he was like, oh, you want to give me the copper blocks? I go, dude, man, I go, you have no idea how much that helped me because all my diamond stuff will last a little bit longer because I can go ahead and hit it on the enchantment table and start to get stuff with enchantment or with efficiency, Unbreaking 3. And then as soon as I get an anvil put together, I'll be able to start merging stuff. And I've got a stream coming up where I've already started. I think now that I got the enchantment table fully loaded, when I get done upgrading the XP grinder, I will probably go back and get some more work done on the one village that I was working at. I cleared it out and I put a bunch of torch spam down, so it should be relatively safe to start working. And I will start working the villagers over there. And then another thing I got to do as soon as I get some decent armor, doesn't even have to be great armor. As soon as I get some decent armor, I will go and start prepping the outpost over there. And then that gives me time. I was talking to one of the guys on the server. I think it's Lucky Dragon is the guy. I am aware that some of the farms that I build are going to be different. They are different in Java. I know like iron farms are way different on here. I think I can still make one like I'm used to, but you don't need to. You can make them a lot easier. And so I actually have to learn how the farms are going to be different here and then make them. And but I can at least prep it so that it's safe to go. I can start to kill off the ones that are loose. I can trap the ones that are spawning and make it safe over there. But I think I am going to use that outpost. Uh, and then I got to look as soon as I get the outpost at least prepped. I might start looking for my permanent base. My current plan right now, and I should make a board over here of what I want to do, like the stuff I want to do here, the stuff I want to do in general. I never did that on the last one, and Biker found. I was watching one of his streams, and Biker found a base, and they are way more organized than I generally will ever be. They had this nice little board where all their plans were, and I think they were marking stuff as finished when they got it done. I should probably do something like that because there are times where I forget what I had planned. And then if I at least got a message board of what my goals are, if I'm having trouble, I can go look at it and see what I need to work on, what's already finished, what's in progress, that kind of thing. And but I want my goal this time because I haven't done one in a while is I would like to make a jungle base. And because I made one and it got some oohs and ahs from the peanut gallery of the people I played with, but I think I'm better now and I could probably make a nicer one. So and I haven't done one in a long time. I was messing around with pyramids the last time. The other thing I've thought about doing is doing another sky base. That one I haven't done since I left console. And again, I definitely got because it generally I found even if you're not that good of a builder, if you make something large enough, it's got more of a wow factor where you could make something just as sucky that was smaller and it wouldn't nearly get the attention on it. But I have thought about doing a sky base. I've absolutely thought about doing a sky base. Oh, and good news for me, and unless it snows overnight, we were supposed to get, according to the news the other day, they did the weather. We were supposed to get, I think, like 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inches today. And it started snowing. It wasn't very heavy, and it quit after like 10, 15 minutes. It was blowing after that, but it didn't seem like it was snowing. So hopefully, I will not be getting wore down tomorrow. I'll be able to play my Sunday realm. But because when it started snowing, I'm like, well, I guess I'll be doing that tomorrow. And then it quit. Didn't look like there was that much on the ground, so I might be escaping it this time, which is cool. Because that's the problem I've had the last 2 winters. When the snow comes, it wears me out a lot more than the yard work does in the summer. And there were times where I would go out and I'm not even shoveling it. I'm running a snowblower, and I would go out and I'd be messed up. I'd be kind of out of it for a couple days, and I kind of had to put my foot down last year because we need snow, we need, and I'm like, well, then you got to get somebody else in here to do it because I'm not going out 2 days in a row. I go, I just can't. It wears me out too much. And I kind of told him last year, I'm like, hey, don't come to me. If I was out on a Monday, don't come to me Tuesday, don't come to me Wednesday. I go, it's going to have to wait, or you're going to have to get the other person here who doesn't do a fucking thing to actually, well, he's gone now. He's in a nursing home. Because he was going to be doing the snow this year. Because he pissed me off with him doing, I mean, he wasn't even doing the shit he was supposed to be doing. And I'm just like, fuck it. I go, I let him know. I go, hey, look, he's doing the snow this winter. That's when he was married. That's the way they did it. His wife did the snow. He did the snow. Wife did the yard. That kind of thing. I go. He's gonna send the homeowner's like, well, we're gonna be stuck here. I go. Well, I guess we're gonna be stuck here because I go. I'm not. I go. As long as he's here, I go. I'm not doing the snow this year. I go. I'm just not doing it. Because I go. It wears me out too much, and this motherfucker doesn't seem to want to do anything. So yeah, it's yeah, he's gone. I don't mind doing it if he's gone, but I was getting tired of wearing myself on when he didn't want to do a goddamn thing. The one that really pissed me off is when he picked up like about I think he picked up like about 60 pounds of pop, and I'm not really exaggerating. He had half the groceries that were brought in were pop, and I was helping him because I figured, oh well, we'll both be doing it, right? So I'm just grabbing what's in front, and it was all his pop. Well, he made like one trip in, and then he sat down. He sat down. He expected me to bring all his fucking pop in and the other, and I'm just like, fuck this. And and then I told him, I go, hey, look, I go, I don't care how much pop you buy, I don't care how much you drink, but I go, you need to quit buying so much pop that you can't carry it in. And he's like, I'll go get it later. I'll go get it tomorrow. I go, dude, it's getting down into freezing. That shit's gonna explode in the car. You can't let it sit until the next day. And I go, I'm not kidding you. I go, you stop bringing home more than you can fucking. I go, if you want to sit down and play the victim here, then quit buying the fucking pop. Because I go, guess what? I go, your health will improve and your fucking weight will go down. And yeah, that pissed me off when he brought all this shit home and expected everybody else to carry it in so he could sit on her and play the victim. It's like, fuck that shit. Hey, Warwick, thank you for the lurk, man. I appreciate it. Oh my god, the cat. Uh, do a little story on the cat. We got 2 cats, and both cats are good. Don't get me wrong, but one of them is my favorite. The family has had it longer, and I kind of nursed it back to health when they first found it. But both cats are really good. Well, the one, she she wants to be on the Hobbit schedule where she's eating like 2 or 3 breakfasts, two second lunch. I mean and oh my god, she uh, she has come up and just some of the things that she's done and we're only talking like the last week. I went downstairs and it was I want to say it was like an hour before whatever meal she had coming up, and she meowed at me. And if you have to understand, this is the way she acts when she wants food. She'll meow, she'll move, she'll look to make sure you're moving in her direction. And I just told her, I go, when she meowed at me, I told her, I go, you got to wait like an hour. And then she had this, it wasn't a yell, it was so human. It's like, like it's like when you tell somebody, it's like, you got to be shitting. And her voice went up, her pitch went up, but it was not a yell, it was not a scream. It was a cry of disbelief that she had to wait like an hour to get some food. And and it cracks me up. And then what's funny is I'm usually her first go. Like if I and she's come up and she thought I was asleep because I was asleep until she came in the room. I think I was kind of waking up, but I was laying there and I had my eyes mostly closed. Well, as soon as she realized I was asleep, she left me alone. But she didn't go bug anybody else. She was willing to bug me if I was awake. Well, then as soon as I come down, she starts bugging me. Like I came down at like 4 in the morning the one time. She got to wait till 5 a.m. That's when the meal time is. Well, she just was fucking right on me. And I told her, I go, hey, you got to wait an hour. Well, I'm trying to rinse out a pop can. Next thing I know, she's like swatting me in the butt. That's that's her. That's her. She goes into full Karen mode. Like, do I have to speak to? She's hit me in the ass. Do I have to speak to the manager here in this bed and breakfast? But that cat has been cracking me up. She has literally been cracking me up the last couple weeks. Oh, making a little valley of wheat here. I have not found that there are certain landmarks that I'm going to want to go check out while I'm on 2B2T. I'm kind of working my way towards what is called the Southern Canal. I don't mind putting this shit up. I don't want my coordinates out, but I'm going to try and do at least a drive by or a sneak peek past the Southern Canal. But I finally started planting some wheat. This right here is where I was planning on. Okay, I'm gonna need to breed some cows, breed some sheep eventually. So let's get the wheat planted because I think the wheat I was picking up from clearing the weeds and stuff around the yard or here. The carrots and the potatoes, yeah, I haven't made the zombie farm yet, but I have found it at this point. And but I got pumpkin seeds here. I've got carrots and potatoes from the zombie farm. Haven't gotten any radishes yet, or beets. I call them radishes, but they're actually beets, I guess. And starting to get my food farms going. Oh man, I just have shit scattered all over this place. Like I threw all this stuff in there. I needed the pumpkin seeds. Like the pumpkin seeds, no, I threw them in there. But the pumpkin seeds, fairly shortly, I had them planted. This might be where I actually got some work done on the zombie farm. I want the torches on the cage because as I start to dig the bottom out, I don't want to accidentally put this place in darkness and have shit because I still don't have any armor at this point. Uh, I still do not have any armor at this point. Oh my god, I don't even know who she is. She seems like a really nice person. I don't really know her, but I think she either follows or is followed by other people that I know, and I think she's in the Big Sin group. She might be in the Big Sin group, and I think she's in the Limitless group. Well, and I'm really glad she seemed to take it as a joke. Maybe not initially, but after she had time to think about it, I think she realized it was a joke because she put up on Twitter, and because there's people that either follow or follow her, there's either people she follows or they follow her, or it's a mutual thing. That's how she shows up in my feed because I'm not following her, she's not following me. But like I said, she seems like a really nice person, and she put a thing up where if you if she follows you on Twitter or Twitter, and she isn't following you on Twitch to give a shout out because she's looking for some new people to follow, which I think is great. I think that's just a decent thing to do. Rising tide tends to lift all boats. Well, I looked and she wasn't following me, and I was not butthurt, not even a little bit. There was no need for the cream, and I just put a comment down there. I go, oh, well, you're not following me on Twitter. And, I put a sad face, and that's all I did because traffic is traffic. Comments on there, and I liked it. Comments on there, all of that stuff helps your channel or your post. Well, the one I got back is she goes, well, you're not following me either, and she just, and I'm like, well, okay, at least she's taking it as a joke. I'm gonna see if I can skip this forward. I usually take these breaks when I'm lightheaded, and I don't always have the common sense to pause the fucking video. There we go. And actually, because this is like over 3 hours, and by doing this, it'll cut the time down. But yeah, I get lightheaded. I go to take these breaks. I put myself in there so I'm safe, and I just do not have the common sense to shut the damn recording off. I'm getting a little snack. Oh, and the I made a cake last week. We just finished it up the other day. I just it's and again it was I baked it, but it wasn't homemade. It was from a box. And then a couple days after I made the cake, I made an apple pie. The apple pie lasted like maybe 2 days, literally maybe 2 days. And we haven't made one for a while because there's an apple tree on the property, and like every other year, that thing will just like shit out an epic amount of fucking apples. Well, this was one of those years, and we were making we were making like an apple pie almost every week. After we made three, after we made 3 or 4 of those, and because I was willing to do it. I was working on peeling them and that. Well, the homeowner here, she's like, I can peel those apples for you. I go, you don't mind? And she goes, no, not a bit. She goes, I can sit down doing that. She doesn't have to go outside. She's got asthma, and she doesn't have to go outside for that. So she was peeling them. We were making like almost an apple pie a week. Well, after like 4 of them, it's like, oh man, we not another apple pie. So I started looking at recipes. She's got all these like fucking cookbooks around, and she's got dessert cookbooks. She's got crock pot cookbooks. I go, you got a recipe book that'll have some apple recipes. She goes, try that one. And so I found one. We had to go out and get some dairy. I think it was like cream. We had to go get cream. We had to get a white cake mix, and then you basically, I think it's damn near an apple pie filling. You basically gotta do exactly what you would do to make an apple pie filling. Well, then you put it in there with some cream, and you put it in with a cake, and you bake it all together. Well, you get like an apple topped cake. It was actually really good. Well, then I made some apple brownies. It was like we were just looking. We end up throwing out so many apples between her and my sister and people they both knew. We were giving apples away like you wouldn't fucking believe, and we still threw a shitload of them out. And but generally, people would come out, like a couple. Like my one niece came out, picked like several bags and buckets of not tomatoes, but apples, and then they were dropping them off. Okay, this is the cheapest and laziest fucking spawner I have ever made in my life, and it actually seems to work pretty good. Normally, what I do is you center on the spawner and you basically go 4 blocks in either direction. So you end up making a 9x9 cube, and you go up 3 or 4 blocks above the top of the spawner. Whenever you do these, you want to make sure you put blocks right on top of the spawner all the way to the top of the cage, so nothing spawns on top of that spawner. And then usually I dig like about 6 blocks down. I dug down 5 or 6 blocks, but I did not expand that cage. I left it the way it was. I dug it out to the proper depth, and then I just put a bucket of water, I think, in each corner, and that flushes everything out of there. That is the cheapest and laziest fucking mob spawner I have ever made in my life, and it works great. I was gonna fix it later. That was just a temporary thing, but it works so good. Fuck it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, after I rough cut this, and I think you'll be able to get, I think you will be able to get like Enderman spawning in there now, but, and I haven't put stairs in yet, but by taking this extra block out, when you get this done throughout the whole stairs, you can go down the stairs a lot faster. Right now, me going down the stairs, I keep running into those blocks, and that kind of slows my progress down a little bit. Yeah, what you do is you put one up 2 blocks high in each one of the, not one block, but you put it in, put it up 2 blocks high in each corner, and it will push everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a limitless water supply here. I have no what I'm doing. What I have no idea. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I when I do my recording sessions, I record the whole thing, and then later on, as soon as I get the time, I'll just make some quick clips. And I think I'm getting better content doing that way than trying to what I was doing before to just make one perfect clip. Hey, I'm not kidding you. When I get a chance to do it, I do like watching your Warzone streams because you guys are way better at it than I'm ever gonna be. Uh, the other one, now you guys are good, don't, and I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but I do really enjoy watching Schrodo play too, because Schrodo is just sick at that game. I mean, it is unbelievably how fun he is to watch playing that. I've been kind of bummed out because I didn't know what was going on, but it's like I even because he did a New Year's tweet the other day, and I asked him, I go, what's going on? I go, I have not seen you stream in a while, and he said he's been streaming in the morning, but I guess next week he's going to do some in the afternoon. Because I told him, I go, I've actually been looking for him, and like, Warwick, he's another one. There's times where he doesn't stream, but he usually puts something up like, hey, I'm not feeling good, or hey, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. but I didn't see nothing from Schrodo, and he was still hopping in on my streams once in a while when he could, but I hadn't seen him in a while, and I'm just like, man, what happened? You know, the one I really like watching is that Timmy Toucans. I, I love watching his clips, and I don't know how much he has to play to get the clips he does. But the part I like about it is the people screaming at him, calling him a hacker and all this other shit. And because, and I got to admit, while it's not impossible to get those vehicles in the building like that, you got these people they're camping out in the building, and next thing you know, they've got the driver from hell running them over. Yeah, I agree with you there. Hey, I don't, I got to be honest with you. Minecraft, I actually like the game, and because of what's going on with my health, I can play it more often. Like I have to be in really bad shape health wise to not be able to do something in the game. I mean, there might be things I can't do when I'm not feeling good, but there's always usually, unless I'm really in the shitter, um, there's always something I can do. But like the first person shooters, I gotta be in a fairly good mood. I gotta be feeling fairly good to even have a chance at playing that. But if I gotta be honest with you, even if war and like the shooting games are not my, I mean, I don't mind playing them, but I don't love them like I do Minecraft. There's other games that I really enjoy playing. The shooter games I kind of like. I'm hoping they'll make good content, and if people want to see it, hey, great. But the even if it was a game I loved, if I could make stuff that people laughed about, like Timmy Toucans does, and that meant that I could only play it a certain amount, I would be more than willing to make that sacrifice just to get that killer content that he does. Oh my God, is that funny? That is just funny as hell. Look at bikers going nuts with the bits today. Thank you. I do appreciate it, man. I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, I wish they'd have given it a different name, and I get what it is. The people that were behind this are probably old enough they don't remember because they're like, oh, 50 bits, 30 bits, 10 bits. If you go back, 2 bits is actually 25 cents. I think that I don't. I think what it is. I think 2 bits is actually 25 cents. Well, in here, 50 bits is 50 cents. But bits is actually a monetary unit, and I don't think it's used anymore because like when I was younger, there was always a it was a rude, crude, socially offensive joke. It is absolutely wrong, but because the bits are flying up, I will do it as a historical reference for the kids out there because the joke was, what do you call a 2-bit hooker? And since 2 bits was a quarter, the joke was, what do you call a 2-bit hooker? And then the answer was a quarter pounder. And so it just, when I see that, every time I see the bits up there, it's like, well, yeah, but 50 bits, that 50 bits should be, I think, $7.50. Oh, okay. Now, um, I basically use whatever is being provided for by the home I'm staying at. But we have they have Dish, and they've got they do not have everything. That's one thing I lost when I lost my health. I used to pretty much have the deluxe package when I could afford to pay for it. But we're not getting. I think we get. I think she gets the stars, and I think the epics. So I do get to see some movies. Like Epics this month has Wrath of Man. It's that new Jason set. So I finally got to watch it. I wanted to see that really bad when it came out at the theater, almost as much as I wanted to see the Marvel movies that I'm not that I can't watch, or the ones that are on the Disney Channel. Man, got another reason for me to hate the people that ruin my health and hope they die a horrible death. I really do. But it is what it is. Well, they had the HBO Max channels free over the weekend, and there was some stuff on there I was able to watch. And they were supposed to be having that 20th anniversary of Harry Potter, and I think it was supposed to be on today. Well, I went looking for it. Oh, we lost, we lost the HBO. We we lost the HBO channels. It was like one of those free preview weekends or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you little bastards, man! You took them off right as the Harry Potter thing was going to come on, so I could watch it. Yep, here we are digging out. I'm not kidding. You guys are going to start to see some progress now in my stuff. It's not just an idiot walking around in the fucking wilderness looking for a place to die and lose all his shit. That's what I've been doing up, and I still do die a couple more times. But this is the part that I find it offensive to me as a Minecraft player. I have died less on 2B. I have died less on 2B2T from natural causes than I have here. And there's just something fundamentally wrong with that. That is just absolutely fundamentally wrong. Okay, we need some water boys, high powered H2O, man. Got the bucket of water. We're gonna have to get it blessed by a Hawaiian shaman or an Alaskan shaman. Remember, put those up 2 blocks high in those corners if you're building one like this, 2 blocks high. Coming in the back door. The old Greek maneuver. Oh, hey, dipshit, go back. There you go. Yep. No. Hey, what? Hey, dumb shit. It's up. No, 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 no. I was moderately lightheaded at this point, I'm pretty sure, because I'm acting like a fucking moron. See, now that pushes everything to one spot. I have no idea. Like I said, I get fairly lightheaded. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm fucking up. That's what I'm doing. And we're gonna go down again. And we're gonna play up and down on the stairs. Where the hell am I going? Okay, now I think I'm trying to figure out the coordinates. This okay. This is what I'm doing here now. I'm just gonna make some stairs going down. This is probably the smartest thing I did so far in this build. This all gets fixed later, but for right now, again, like I said, this was the cheapest, laziest, and dirtiest fucking mob spawner I have ever made in my life. I figured it was for Java, not Bedrock, so I didn't have to really put a lot of effort into it, you know. I'm kind of doing this on the fly because, like I said, I've never made one exactly like this before. So I'm kind of doing it. I'm computing this out in my head on exactly what I want to do, how I want to build it. Well, I, I think it's a couple more videos before I'll have the actual mob grinder I built, and I've got this big water catch. It's a 3x3 hole where they fall down it, and I've got 8 blocks on either side of it. So I've got like a big, I want to say it's like 21 blocks by 21 blocks. That's the whole water. Well, the mob farm, the zombie spawner feeds into one side of it. I have 3 levels of mob farm on the other side of it. I've got 2 more sides, and I'm gonna make a 3 high. I'm gonna make another mob spawner 3 high. I might make that one a creeper farm, and then the other one I think I'm. But I need to improve my diamond tools so I can go in and mine like a whole bunch of obsidian blocks at the end portal or on the end island, and then I will make a passive gold spawner. And I don't expect it to produce a lot of gold, but the way I look at it is that whenever I go there to use the zombie spawner, I might as well grab that other ship because, like I said, it has been. I have not been able to make a good mob spawner since I left console. I tried multiple times to make like a big mob spawner in Bedrock, and I could never get one to work. And as soon as I get a permanent base, I will make an actual proper one. But I'm just trying to get the most bang for the buck at the zombie spawner. I figure if I can get a little gunpowder here, if I can get a little arrows here, so on and so forth, I figure I'll throw in a shitload of giant portals there, get a little gold off of it. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I might actually make a gold farm in the nether. I think Lucky or Lightning's doing it right now. And the only reason I'm thinking about doing it is because I tried making one of those on Bedrock and they don't work. They do not work like they do on. They don't work like they do on Java. And I would like to just. It's kind of like the reason I built the gas farm in the last season. I just wanted to see if it worked. trying to break trying to break the torch and I start playing. I constantly run into problems with the controls on this thing. Don't fall in. Don't fall in. You might die. Don't fall in. I still got some shit lit up in there. I got to find where it is. Don't fall in. Where's the damn torch at? There's the torch. Don't fall in. Bingo! We got a heartbeat on this puppy. It is up and running. Yep, this is the Mob Spawner 1.0 here. I'm not in any hurry, but I'm going to redo these lower thirds that I got here. I'm going to make one for the Aces, well, for this server. I'm going to do one in general for Minecraft, and then I'll do one for this server, one for the Bunny Realm, and then one for 2B2T. And then I'll make some for the other games I'm currently playing or might be playing. I'll get rid of the GTA one and the Jedi Fallen Order one, unless I start playing that again. Now, the funny thing is here, I never got one of them to spawn through the diagonal here. But when I, later on, at least when I had this set up, but later on when I improved it a bit, I actually had stuff spawning and well, basically coming through this gap here at the diagonal and then kill me. See, the beauty of it is when I finally get a permanent base and I make a mob spawner there, one of these toilet-based ones, you don't even really, if you build it right, you don't even really need like a skelly spawner or a zombie spawner because you'll get so many mob drops from it. Like at least like the ones, especially if you build it up in the air, you'll get so many mob drops from it that you'll get plenty of zombie meat. You'll get the drops from the zombie. You will get the bone meal. You'll get the arrows and stuff like that. Because I'm not kidding you that when I built one on my, this was back on console, when I built one of the guys I played with, I usually played on their world. Well, he's like, hey, do you mind if we come look at your world? I go, well, yeah, as long as you don't fuck shit up. And they're like, oh, we won't. We just want to look around. Well, he saw that mob spawner I built, and he goes, well, how good is it? I go, well, hang on, just stand there for a minute. And I went and turned everything on, and he was just amazed at how much stuff fell out of the sky on that thing. the one I got, and I think it's because the mob cap is getting hit by the zombie spawner, but I'm still getting a little bit out of it. But when I start adding more levels to it, when I add, because the way you want to make those toilet based ones is you want to have half of it flushing at a time. So like what you do is, and I think Mumbo Jumbo's the one that showed me how to build those. Being completely honest, I think I learned how to build that model from him. But what you do is you want half of it to flush and half of it to not flush, and then that half will be filling up with mobs while the other one is emptying out, and then it'll switch. And so half of it will always be pumping out mobs. But right now I've got three of them, and what they do is it shuts off and it doesn't do nothing, and then it flushes those mobs out. And as soon as I add three more levels and it's alternating, I should get more drops out of it. And as far as I know, eventually I might dig this whole thing out into a giant pit like I did on the last server. Are you in a mine shaft? Really, with cats on the server, the only way you need oh, okay. The only reason you need a spider spawner is if you need the spider eye. If all you need is string, just get yourself a good iron farm in a village, and you'll get plenty of string from the cats that fall into it. That's gonna be a that's gonna be a TikTok. Me talking about using the cats as a string farm. That's going on TikTok. I'm gonna get some hate mail for that one. I'm gonna see. I bet you somebody's gonna report me to the vegan teacher. Iron. I think I've only made one spider spawner, and I don't like them because there's a way. Now it might work because I don't think they work as efficiently on Bedrock. They might work better on Java, but the thing I don't like about them is that they can crawl back up. But I did make one spider spawner, but I I only made one, and then by the time I would get around to need another string farm, they had really redone the mechanics for cats at the village. I think that was the village and pillage update or the village update. And I don't purposely build a thing to kill cats, but since they did that, every iron farm I have made uh, every type of iron farm I have made on Bedrock, you end up getting so much string out of it. Because like when it started out, you pretty much had to kill the cats because when you got too many cats, it killed the efficiency of your iron farm. Hey, which Badlands are you using? Are you using the one near spawn or did you find another one? Oh, hey, this is like a little news flash for everybody. The fishing is much. I mean, I think fishing farms might still work on Java. They don't on. They nerfed them on Bedrock. They might. I haven't tried it out yet, but they might still work on this one. But fishing without a fish farm is way more preferable on Bedrock than it is on Java. You do not get shit. Because as much fishing I have done on Java, I would have gotten a fully decked out fishing rod. I have not even gotten a fishing rod with mending on it yet. But as much fishing as I've done on Java, if this was Bedrock, I would have at least a level 2 or level 3. Oh, it's the lure. It's the two add-ons that affect what you catch and how frequently, the lure and whatever the other one is. And I would more than likely have at least some form of a mending rod at this point. The drops are a lot shittier on Java than it is on Minecraft, which really isn't that big of a deal. It makes it harder for you when you're starting out with a new server and you're just trying to get some stuff quick so you can get up and running. You don't get nearly as much stuff from fishing on here. Now, once you get the enchantments for your rod, it'd probably be a different story, but not right now. Yeah, I think that I don't remember. I was even watching it. Maybe it might have been. I think what it was is I did pause it and I think I died and I didn't realize I had not started recording, but I'm pretty sure that I have now made a second map because the other one looked different than what this is. It seemed, yeah, I think that's what it was because I think I died and I was like, well, I might as well end the stream and just take a break. And then I realized I had not started recording after I'd taken a break. And so I didn't catch that death, but I am pretty sure I have lost a map at this point. I'm trying to catch everything that I can and then doing my best to edit it out. Like when I'm doing these streams, I just kind of let it run like it would be, and then I'm editing it down for before I put it up on YouTube and TikTok, like you have to. Yeah, doing the old Babe Winkleman stream here where I'm fishing. That XP or that mob grinder I got, it must like where I dug out, it must be over the water. I think either that or they spawn anywhere. But I think I've gotten damn near like 3/4 of a stack of the glow squids that have they basically volunteered as tribute at my mob grinder. They're getting caught in the chest at the bottom of it. Okay, we're fishing, so we got to keep everything real quiet right now. Oh, hey, speaking of fishing, back many years ago, rented a basement from a guy, and he was a huge hunter and fisherman, right? He hunted and fished all year round, and I would occasionally go fishing with him if I wasn't there were times where I'd be like, well, yeah, and I'd let him know right away. His wife was a real fucking pain in the ass, and but there was one time where he's like, well, you gonna go fishing with me this weekend? I go, well, yeah. I go, depending on how I feel when you're going, because he's leaving. He was usually leaving a couple hours after I was going to bed from the bar, and his wife tried to fucking guilt trip me one time because I had told him I'd go, and I always told him I go, well, yeah, depending on how I feel, when we go, because like, well, 'cause I rented his basement, so I'll come wake you up. And he liked having people to go fish with. He's a really good guy. His wife was a fucking bitch, but and I mean, when I lived there, I'm not kidding you. I don't know how many times it wasn't quite a daily occurrence, but it was a weekly occurrence, and it was more than one. It was more than once every week. I don't know how many times I was like fucking leaving through the garage exit in the basement because those two were fucking arguing like you would not believe upstairs. And I'm just like, yeah, this is not my monkeys, not my fucking circus. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And well, anyways, I told him, I go, well, yeah, I go, depending on how I feel. I, I was still fucking drunk as shit from the night before. I don't, he's waking me up about an hour or two after I've gone to sleep, and I'm just like, yeah, I go, I'm not going today, sorry, man. And then she's like, well, and she's just giving me this fucking crybaby shit. He really was upset, blah blah blah. And I looked at him. I go, well, next time he asks me to go fishing, I'll just tell him that I don't need your bullshit, so I'm not going fishing anymore. She goes, well, I don't want you to do that. I go, well, then fucking this is none of your business. I go, whether I go fishing or not is absolutely none of your fucking business. And then because she tried these little power trips, and it's like, look, I didn't marry you, I didn't sign up to put up with your shit. And I was supposed to mow the yard like once a week or something like that. I wasn't supposed to mow it all the time, but I was supposed to pitch in, and I didn't have a problem with that. What I had a problem with was like she expected me to drop what I was doing and fucking mow whenever she wanted it. And I put a stop to that real quick. And because I told him this before I moved in, because he's like, well, we're gonna expect you to help out with the mowing. I go, I will help out with the mowing, but I told him, I go, I'm not picking up your kids' toys. I go, that's your guys' problem. And I told him, I go, I don't want to hear any shit if the mower runs stuff over. Well, I got off of work and I had plans, and she's like, oh, well, you got to mow tonight. I go, ain't gonna happen. I got plans. She's like, well, you have to. I go, good luck with that. And then she's like, she'd always run to him like she was a little fucking bitch, little fucking 3-year-old kid. She's like, I just told him he had to mow the yard, and he didn't know anything about it. He goes, okay. She goes, well, he's not going to do it. He's got plans. And I'm saying he was a really good guy. He's like, well, if he's got plans, he's got plans. He goes, when did you tell him you wanted him to mow it? She goes, well, just now. He goes, so you told him 5 minutes after he got off work, and he's had plans since yesterday or since work today? She goes, yeah. He goes, I don't blame him. And then she was pissed off because he didn't take her side. That was probably the reason they argued the next day. Well, then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna mow it. Well, she knew I wanted to mow it, so she goes out there and runs a fucking sprinkler. And I go, hey, look, I go, you need to shut the sprinkler off. She goes, why? I go, because I'm mowing. She goes, oh, maybe you can't mow today. I go, hey, I tell you what. I go, you want to play this fucking game? I go, you can mow the fucking yard yourself. I go, I don't care. I go, I don't mind helping out. But I go, if you're going to play these little 3-year-old fucking games with me like you do with your husband, I go, I'm not fucking mowing. I'll move out first. And I go, now, do you want to shut the fucking sprinkler off, or do you want to mow the yard later this week? I go, it's entirely up to you. But I go, if you don't fucking stop this shit right now, I'm not mowing the fucking yard ever again. And so then she went and turned the mower off. Well, she just sat out there like a fucking beached whale. And she was still hot, but she wasn't nearly as hot as she was before she had the car accident. And I don't know what it is, but she thought I was going to put up with her shit, and it just didn't fucking happen. And, but no, so I went out there. Well, then she didn't pick up the fucking kids' toys. And I think she thought I was going to. I didn't, and generally the stuff that was out there, I didn't know it was there until I hit it with the mower. And then she goes, you're hitting the kids' toys. And I go, well, you knew I was mowing. I go, you should be picking the kids' toys up. She goes, well, if you're mowing, I go, I go, look, I go, I don't care. I told her, I go, I really don't care if I mow the fucking yard or not. I go, I'm going to be completely honest. I go, I don't mind doing it. But I go, I told Don before I moved fucking in, I'm not picking up the kids' toys. And I told him I didn't want to hear shit if the mower found them. Well, then she started picking shit up, and I never had another problem. She never said a fucking thing to me about mowing the lawn again. because I think she went and said something to him, and he goes, "Yeah, he was pretty clear about it. He don't mind helping us mow the yard, but he's not helping us pick up after our kids." And she never said a fucking thing about the yard after that. But I'm just like, I'm not playing this fucking game. Then she tried to hit me with a broom the one time. She 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 tried to hit me with a broom, and what I ended up doing, there it's actually part of something else, but basically it is a if you've ever given someone a Charlie horse on the leg, if you know what you're hitting, you can do the same thing to the arm. There's spots on the arm you can hit just like on the leg, and it'll basically disable the arm. And whether you believe it or not, if you hit enough of these, when you hit like 5 to 8 of them on the body, the person will start to have problems breathing. It will start to disrupt the nervous system. Well, when she tried to hit me with the broom, I caught it, disabled her arm. I hit her right, it's in the bicep area. I hit her right in there, and I know exactly what happened. Her fucking arm went limp. Her fucking arm just went numb. And then I threw the broom across the living room to disable her so she couldn't hit me with it again. And he said something to me, and I go, dude, I go, I don't know what you want, but I go, she tried to hit me with a fucking broom. I go, you need to handle your fucking bitch. I go, I'm not. I go, I'm not going to sit there and let her. Well, then when he checked with her, and he's like, did you really try to hit him with a broom? And if she was honest, and I don't know if she was, but I know he believed me over her because he knew what he was fucking married to. He knew what he argued with almost every day. But you know, he's like, I know because he told me about it later. He goes, well, I asked her, did you try to hit him with a broom? And she goes, she tried to lie about it. And then he goes, were you the one that started this whole fucking thing? Did you jump him as he was coming in the fucking? And he goes, she tried to lie about that. And then what happened was he kind of sat us down because every time she'd play these little 3-year-old games, I just like fuck it, I don't care. I didn't marry you, I didn't sign on for that. I just wanted to rent a basement. Well, he sat us down. He's like, well, you guys need to get along. And I just got to where I just quit arguing with her and I just avoided her. Well, after a while, we hadn't argued in like months, and I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I go, I'm not taking her shit. I'm just not. And I thought about whether I wanted to fucking let him know, like, look, I'm not going to keep ignoring her. If she wants to act like a 3-year old, I'm going to fucking, basically throw it back at her or I'm moving out. And I thought about it and I went in and told him he was working second shift. And I went, I said, yeah, I go, I'm moving out. I go, I don't, I go, I'm just, and I go, I'm moving out at the end of this month. I go, you can get somebody else. I go, I'm not putting up with her shit anymore. I go, she wants to act like a 3-year old. I go, you married her. That's your problem. It's not my problem. And then he goes, oh, you don't know how glad I am to hear that. And I go, why? He goes, well, you guys have not been arguing. I thought you were fucking her. Ever since he went on second shift and I looked at him, I go, are you fucking nuts? I go, no. I think the other reason she was mad at me, and this was after he went to second shift. She wanted to know that if she ever left Don, if I'd want to marry her, and I didn't even blink. I looked at her. I go, no fucking way. I go, I just threw it out there. I'm like, no fucking way am I marrying you. And the thing he told me was, and he fucked up. They were not getting along, and he had the bright idea, and a lot of guys do, a lot of people do. He's like, well, let's have another kid. That'll make things better. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I think there's like sections of libraries that are devoted to why that type of thinking doesn't work. Well, they ended up getting a divorce, and he told me later, he's like, you know, he goes, I can always tell when she's fucking somebody. And I go, why? He goes, because she's easy to get along with. He goes, he ended up marrying somebody about half her age, was just hot as shit, really nice, no fucking drama, not bipolar, no fucking mental issues. And he said, well, and he told me the one day, he goes, yeah, he goes, I don't know why she just can't find a dick and be happy. And I go, why? He goes, well, whenever she's fucking somebody, because he goes, the kids always tell me, the kids are always, yeah, mommy's got a boyfriend that spends the night, and but he goes, when she's fucking somebody, he goes, she's easy to get along with. There's no fucking problems. Because as soon as they get tired of putting up with her bullshit, he goes, then she's trying to drag me into court to fuck with the child support or the days we have the kids, everything. And I go, dude, I go, The thing she doesn't realize is she's not in high school anymore, and nobody's gonna put up with her fucking drama. I go, she can either be a single fucking rich spoiled bitch or she can grow the fuck up. But I go, them are her only two choices. And I go, people are just not gonna put up with her shit for very long. And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, you told me this before too. And it's like, yeah, that shit just doesn't work. Uh, oh, let me see if I can skip ahead. Sorry about that. Strolling down memory lane. Ooh, yeah, I camped out for a while this time. There we go. I gotta be honest, not so much him, but she was the reason why I never wanted another fucking roommate in my life because I just didn't want to deal with somebody that, sooner or later you were going to want to throttle in their sleep. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't ever want another fucking roommate after that bullshit. Cuz like I had a this is how long ago this was. I had a Super Nintendo. I think it was a Super Nintendo. It was the one with the cartridges that went on the top. And I took it over there. I hooked it up. Well, the next thing I know, she'd fucking hijacked it and took it upstairs so that the kid she babysit could play. And I didn't say too much, but it's like she would go down and just take movies I had and I had a bedroom, and you would think that would be sacred. She'd go down there and go through my movies and see which movies she wanted to watch. Didn't even ask. And after I'd been there for a little bit, and again, this was all her. They had a house. The payments were easy to make. And then she just basically, oh, we have to get a new house. We have to get a more expensive house. And he tried to talk her out. He's like, hey, look, we'll have this thing paid off in like 10 or 15 years. Well, she fucking saddled him with like another 30-year mortgage on a bigger house, a house that he didn't need. And so we moved to that. Well, because of the move, and and that was honestly it, or I'd have done it before that. But it was, because of the move, I'm like, I just packed up my Super Nintendo and took it over and, had my brother hang on to it. He played it. Before I took it over there, he was using it. And I go, hey, you can hang on to it until I get ready to take it over to the new house. I go, enjoy it. And I go, sooner or later, I will move it over there. Well, then what happened was, and again, this was my fucking Super Nintendo, not hers. I mean, she was a Karen before anybody even knew what a fucking Karen was. And I didn't play it that much, but it's the principle. It was mine. She should not have unhooked it from the TV in my bedroom and fucking moved it up to the living room without asking permission. And when they bought the new house, it had a pool table and all this other shit. And she made a comment because, I had taken it. And she goes, well, when are you going to bring it back? I told her, well, whenever I want to play it. I go, right now my brother's using it. And I go, we're moving. And I go, when I actually feel like I have time to play it after the move and after everything's unpacked, I go, I might bring it back, but I go, I'm not, and then she started acting like it was hers. And I, like it was my fault that and I'm just like, I looked at her, I go, well, this is my game system. And I told her, I go, look, because she was bugging me like a couple times a day. And I finally said, hey, look, quit asking me. I go, I will bring it back when I get goddamn good and ready to. Because I go, it's mine, it's not yours. And I told her, I go, when I bring it back, I go, I'm going to expect it to stay where I put it. I go, I don't want you fucking stealing it and moving it around the house so you can use it for, because I go, I don't really want the kids you babysitting playing with it. It's mine. It's not your little fucking toy to use when you're babysitting for people for money. And she just kept it up, and she, and I I've run into this problem before. People don't understand when I tell you something, I mean it. And I told her, do not fucking bother me again. Do not waste my fucking time on this again. Well, it finally got to the point where I never said nothing to her, but I'm like, I ain't fucking bringing it back. I'm I'm just literally not bringing that shit back because it's like, I told you about 8 times. And I usually don't like to tell people more than once, but it's just like, yeah, I ain't bringing it back. Well, then she said, well, I don't want you playing on the pool table and just being a little. And he already told me, well, yeah, the pool table's for everybody, And it was downstairs in the basement where I live. Well, then since she said I couldn't play on it again, I usually threw this shit back. What I did was I went down there. Well, I would practice on it because I shot pool leagues too. And she goes, I told you no playing pool. I go, I'm not playing pool. I go, I'm practicing. So I go, fuck off. And I mean, she was pissed. She went crying to him, and he goes, well, you did say. And she goes, hey, look, he's paying rent. I told him he could use it. And he goes, he's doing what you said. He's not playing. He's practicing. And then she goes, well, I don't want him practicing. He goes, we're not doing this shit. He goes, he's paying rent here. He goes, he will move out. He's not putting up with this bullshit. It's like, I'm not married to you. I don't have to. She said, but she was just a cankerous fucking bitch. Uh, I just feel bad for the fact that she had custody of the kids. He got them on like every other weekend, and he would have been a much better choice to raise those kids because he was an adult. He was not some cankerous, fucking horrible bitch. That girl he ended up marrying, she was a wonderful person. Uh, so yeah, I just felt bad about the whole thing, but it's just like, hey, look, you married it. I didn't. Don't expect me. And he sort of knew what was going on, but I was not the first person that he had, had as a roommate or whatever you want to call it that had a problem with her. That was a normal thing. That's why there was so much turnover there for people there. Like the only reason the guy after me lasted is because he basically put a TV in there, paid rent, and was never there. He had his stuff there. He had a TV there. He was occasionally there, but like, 9 out of 10 days, he didn't set foot in that house. He just had it for once in a while when he needed a place to stay for a night. Uh, this guy, I'm not kidding you. This was his setup. This was at the original house. I don't know if he ever set the stuff up at the new house, but he had a target deer that he could put out in the yard and shoot with his bow. And it was a full size target deer. He had that. He he had a fucking scope mounted on his BB gun. He he literally had a he literally had an optical scope mounted on his BB gun for shooting birds. Um, I gotta be careful with the stories. Because I honestly don't know if he was doing something that was say like sketchy. I don't want to, even though I'm not giving out names in that, or at least I'm not giving out full names. I think I might have fucked up and said his first name, or maybe I didn't screw up and I gave you the wrong one. I don't know, but he 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 fucking went hunting the one morning. He got up before the kids had woken up. It's like I think it was Easter Sunday, and he got up and he went hunting and he shot a goose. Right, brought it home, just threw it in the garage on the ground, and he figured, well, I'm going to go back to sleep and then I'll come out and dress it later, right? Well, apparently, if you shoot a goose, it especially if it's an adult goose like this one was, the feathers are thick enough that the buckshot will not actually kill it. It'll just stun it. It'll knock it out, and that's apparently what happened this day, kids. And he's telling me about it. He he went down there after he woke up the second time, and he went down there to dress it up. And this fucking goose is walking around his garage, just walking around, and it saw him and started running and trying to fly away. Well, in its panic, and it might have still been recovering from the buckshot, it went head first into the garage door. And then he goes, and then that thing was just, it was flapping and spitting at him. And it was mad then. And so he's like in there throttling the son of a bitch. He's choking it to death in the garage. It's trying to knock him out with the wings. He puts all his weight on the thing. And he's telling me about this. And I go, look, I would have either been hung over or drunk. I go, why didn't you come wake me up? I go, I got those collie sticks. And I go, would have been nice to brain the son of a bitch and see what happens. And he goes, I didn't even think about it. He goes, I kind of panicked when that thing flipped out after it hit the garage door. And oh, what the hell? Because that happened at another place. I got off of work, and when I got there was a bat flying around in the house, and I actually got one of my sticks out, and I was trying to kill that thing. Well, I hit it a few times, but it always moved. The bats, because of their radar, they are real hard to hit because they actually, the radar lets them know that the stick is coming in and it moves. If it had been something that relied on sight, it might have been able to hit it. I don't know how many times I clipped the wings and it would drop like a couple feet in the air. And it's probably a good thing because if I would have hit it, there'd have been like blood splattered all over the place. I ended up taking it out with my t-shirt. I took my t-shirt off and I used it like a tennis rack and I knocked it into the wall. Well, then the other person who lived there took the shirt and wrapped it up, and then it was an old shirt. I wore it to work. It was just a shitty shirt, and I go, here, wrap it up really good in that shirt, put it in this plastic bag. So then when I got in the plastic bag, I wrapped it up and put it in another plastic bag, and then I wrapped it up with some duct tape that we'd found at this point, and then we put it in another bag and threw it outside. Now, that motherfucker can get out of that. It can live. If not, I'll throw it in the trash tomorrow. But and then the other thing when I lived with him, it was a kid's birthday party and they had gotten a piñata, and everybody there admitted that there was something wrong with that piñata because they were trying to break it with whatever they had gotten from the store, and they could not break that piñata. Well, then he remembered. He came and said, "Hey, can we borrow one of those sticks?" And I got him the one. Now it was a softwood. It wasn't. I didn't really have any hardwood ones at that time because I didn't have a lot of money and they were expensive. But I gave him the longest softwood one I had. The longer it is, the more torque and velocity you get out of it. Well, those kids couldn't break it. And then they go, "Hey, you could hit a lot harder than those kids." And I go, yeah. So they didn't make me wear a blindfold. And they had that thing hoisted up. I was teeing off on that thing. I guarantee you, if I had hit a person with it, every one of those blows would have like either knocked a person out or killed them. And I'm hitting that thing, and it wasn't even leaving dents in the pinata. And it was bouncing all over the fucking place. And then finally, I broke the string. And then they go, hit it while it's on the ground. As soon as it was on the ground, I just shredded that thing with like two blows. And they go, okay, give the stick back to the kids. So then we let the kids wail on it, and then they started getting their candy. But they got the pinata from hell that year. That was funny as all get out. I think I did get some oohs and ahs from the peanut gallery when I was teeing off on it because I was whipping that stick around pretty good. And it's like, holy shit. Oh. Oh, we have lava. We have lava. Oh, run away, fuck that, abort, 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 abort. Yeah, that was the thing, because there were people we worked with when they found out I moved in there, and they go, because they had heard stories, and again, they weren't coming from him. He always spoke decent about his wife. He really did, or he didn't say anything. He really lived by that, because he was worried shit would get back to her, and he's like, look, if she's gonna get mad at me, she's gonna get mad at me for imaginary shit. She's not gonna get mad at me for stuff I actually said. But they had heard things from the other people we worked with who had stayed there, and they asked me about it, and I go, look, all I'm gonna say, and this is generally all I said anytime I was asked, I go, all I'm gonna say is normally my view at that time was, if there was a problem in the marriage, it was usually a mutual thing, or it was the man's fault. That was my experience with the friends I knew. It was either a mutual thing, they just should have never, they should have wore a rubber, should have never got married, fucking, party a couple times and then fucking move on for somebody better, because they were just not well suited or whatever, or the guy was being an asshole. That was my, and again, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but that was my experience of it. I go, this is the first time in my life with somebody I knew, friend, family, whatever. This is the first time where I can honestly say, if there's a problem there, it ain't the husband. I can say that and that was not a normal feeling for me back then. And since then, I'm a little older. I have worked with many people that were as fucking horrible as she was. I have worked with many, many people that were, some guys, some girls, but at the time, most of the girls I knew were usually really nice people, and they just got nothing but shit from the guys they dated. And I think there were some of the girls I dated that, they were just absolutely nice, and it just, what it was is, I was looking for somebody to hang out with. They were looking for romance or a soulmate, and it wasn't there for me. And I should have never hung out with them, dated them, whatever, because I was looking for one thing, they were looking for something else. And I'm not, and that's like maybe half, somewhere between half and third of the relationships I've been in. But that was the first relationship I had ever run across where, I could say, yeah, it was definitely the woman's fault. And if there was a fault in that relationship, it sure as hell wasn't him. And that was a genuinely new experience for me back then. I'm glad I got the webcam working. I kind of like having that there. Down the road, maybe I can get a better one than this, but this is actually working. Like, because my stream's working, everything is good. I am glad to have it. Okay, this stream is almost going 2 hours now. I got a little less than 15 minutes left. I think this has been a great stream. I want to thank Biker and Biker Warwick, Wiresmith. I'm getting pretty lightheaded at this point, but Biker, Wiresmith, Warwick. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I do appreciate it. As far as the first stream of the new year, I am absolutely just, happy. Everything went pretty good. So we are having a good stream. Hopefully, the rest of the year will be just like this. In a couple minutes, but yeah, and this is the beauty of this one. This one's been, I think I've been like this for a couple weeks now, but I've actually got a mob spawner going, so I can get some XP, I can get some drops. And like I said, this is the laziest and cheapest fucking mob spawner I have ever made in my life. And I was gonna improve it, you know, just this, but it works so good. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to fuck with it until I'm ready to make it like really good. I was gonna make incremental things, just make it a little better. And I'm like, you know what? This is working pretty good. I don't need to change. I did a couple minor things out here, but this was just up and running. I was really happy with this. but that's the one thing that's going to be good about this season is I'm going to have to look up different ways. So they'll be new to me. They'll be new to anybody checking out my stream. But I do know for a fact that a lot of these farms are going to work different in Java. So I have to do a little bit of research and learn how to make them for Java. And the main reason I'm doing it is because the ones I'm thinking of is they're easier to build, like the iron farm. I do not have to make the convoluted iron farm I do in Bedrock. My understanding is, at least for now, you need 3 villagers, and then you got to set up a thing for a zombie to scare them, and you will start to produce iron golems. Okay, I don't know what I turned on here. I turned on something. I was trying to hit F3, I think, to get. I was trying to turn one of the F keys, and I hit the wrong one. I somehow turned on hitboxes, and I absolutely have no idea how I did that. I can't remember. It was either one of the keys but it actually turned on hitboxes, and there's a whole lot of these hotkeys that I have not figured out. But the hitboxes are on, and I'm not sure what I did. Okay, I think I'm reading the chats that popped up on screen. Lucky's been actually a pretty good source because he didn't play. I don't think he played Bedrock too much. He's more of a Java player. Well, every now and then I'd throw something in chat, and he could explain me. Well, yeah, here's how you do that. Like he was the one when I told him that I I try to. I don't always remember to do it. Like on Bedrock, all I have to do is turn it on, and it's good to go. But on Java, if I want the text to speech on, I have to turn it on every time I load the game. And when I mentioned that, because he had been chatting with me, and I just didn't, because I told him, I go, look, I get lightheaded, and I don't notice the chat. So I go, I need to turn on the text to speech so that when somebody says something to me, I hear it. Well, you can see it up in the top right corner right now. He's telling me that if you hit, I think it's Control B, that will cycle you through the text to chat functions, and the narrator. And he was telling me that I just have to remember to do it. But some of the times I'm on here by myself. But what I feel bad about is when somebody comes on and they've been talking to me for a while, and I have no idea because I don't have the narrator turned on. It'll take a minute to get out here, but now that I've got cows, I might go get some sheep. I'm either going to do sheep or cows, or I'm just going to put name tags on a wall. But since Biker has been like throwing bits at me like they're going out of style, I've got to make a board where I can put people who sub to me up. And since this is the new year, what I'll do is I will put one board somewhere for the 2021, and then I will start a new one for 2000. And I might have to wait till I get a regular base, or I'll have to move it, or I'll just start another one when I get to the base. But I'll put something up where I can do something. I don't know if it's going to be. I can't do named animals because I don't have name tags right now. So I guess I'll have to do like a praising board or a whiteboard or whatever you call it. But I'll do one for the 2021 people. Like I got iFlanks, did some bits. Uh, Warhawk subscribed. Biker's been like a constant subscriber. I think he's subscribed to me like 8 months in a row now. And but what I'll do is I'll start one for 2022, and then every month, everybody that subscribes, everybody that tips, they'll get on there. I don't expect anybody to do it, but god damn it, when people are nice enough to do it, I got to start giving them some attaboys and recognition for it in the stream. Then I can put them up on TikTok too. Show them some love because I do appreciate it. I don't expect it, but I do appreciate it. Now the problem is, if I'm a little lightheaded now, I won't remember this. Hopefully I'll remember it when I'm editing it if I catch it. So it's in the stream now. So hopefully if I forget about it, um, when I'm editing this stuff later, I will notice it. Oh, thanks for the bits, man. I do appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll remember it because I really need to do this because as a streamer, uh, you really can't take anybody that's nice enough to help you out. You can't take advantage. You can't take that for granted. You gotta be decent. I don't think this was working the other day. And I have not done any settings. I haven't. I'm sitting there thinking, man, I thought I had this set up. And but yeah, it's working today. But it could have just been when you were cheering the other day. I was so lightheaded, I wasn't seeing it. But I do like the fact that it's popping up on the screen. It seems to be, like I said, everything seems to be working right now on this stream. I'm happy as shit about this. Okay, let's find somebody to raid if somebody's on. Okay, Warwick is not on. Like, uh, there's other ones that would be in this, but Warwick is usually the one that's on when I'm getting done. But I don't see Warwick on. I think what I'm going to do is raid Wolfpack Jiff. He's only got one viewer. So if you got time to stop, if you got some time to stick around and show that guy some love, that would be really, really nice.
Lucky_dragon, okay.
I have got to put some stairs on this. I still have not put the stairs on this thing. I definitely need to do that. I think I would have the stairs on there, but I was getting so pissed off, and I'm literally, I have died. The number of times I've died is in double. I'm pretty sure it's in double digits because there's been a couple times where I died right in here because a mob spawned in one of those caves, and I died 4 times just trying to kill the bastard with a block of dirt so I could grab my stuff back. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the end screen. Again, I want to thank everybody that stopped in, and I really want to thank everybody that was checking this out after the fact. I really do. And then if you can, the lower thirds has been popping it up all day. My various channels, go ahead and check me out on YouTube. Go ahead and check me out on TikTok and Twitch. And I hope everybody is going to be having a great new year. Let's start the new year out right. Let's everybody have some good vibes and just roll it on. And then maybe this will be a better year for everybody than last year was. And, oh, wait. Okay. Raid. I don't know what happened. I copied the whole thing so I could paste it, and it said I had invalid parameters. Okay, I must have spelled his name wrong. Hang on. Wolf. Oh, I put a space in between Wolfpack, I think. Yeah, I put spaces in. That's my bad. Okay, it's working now. Yeah, apparently you have to spell the name correctly for it to work. That's my bad.